All right, everybody, welcome to the 33rd annual session of Global Elementary Model United Nations in 2022. I hope you all doing well this morning. Is everybody doing well? Yeah. So a quote often repeated here at Gemeng is from Kofi Annan, a former Secretary General of the United Nations. Over the years, we have come to realize that it is not enough to send peacekeeping forces to separate warring parties. It is not enough to engage in peace-building efforts after societies have been ravaged by conflict. It is not enough to conduct preventative diplomacy. All of this work is essential work, but we must also act at a deeper level if we want enduring results. We need, in short, a culture of peace. To develop this culture of peace, Gemeng challenges all of you delegates to explore other countries' perspectives, actively in your committees, and create a culture of peace between all the nations you represent this year. In the past year, you have overcome the difficulties caused by the pandemic, the problem and the struggle to interact from being so far apart. Despite these many obstacles, you have persevered to participate and be present and voting today. You rise to the challenge Gemeng presents to be agents of peace and goodwill by learning about and speaking for others' beliefs and confronting the many issues in the world today in a peaceful manner and choosing to develop your communication skills. I want to end with this quote by Nelson Mandela. The youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. Delegates, you as youth will take the abilities you develop now and use them as the leaders of tomorrow. From humanitarian crises like those present in Ukraine currently to the growing environmental challenges we face, I am confident you will grow to handle anything that may arise. Thank you for participating today and allowing us to be part of your education about the world. I hope Gemeng will teach you how to actively promote goodwill and help you begin to craft that begins here today. I would now like to introduce Ambassador Ramu Damodaran. Ambassador Ramu Damodaran joined the United Nations Department of Global Communications in 1996. His responsibilities in the department have included oversight of relationships with civil society, the creative community, celebrity advocates, the Dag Hammarskjöld Library, and publications, including as chief editor of the UN Chronicle. Most recently, he served as the chief of the United Nations Academic Impact, which he was asked by Secretary General Ban Ki-moon to devise and lead. He has also been Secretary of the United Nations General Assembly's Committee on Information since 2011, and he completed his career with the United Nations in 2021. Earlier, as a member of the Indian Foreign Service, he was promoted to the rank of ambassador and served as executive assistant to the Prime Minister of India between 1991 and 1994. Delegates, can we give a warm welcome to Ambassador Ramu Damodaran?
Thank you so much, Secretary General. Thank you for that very warm welcome. I was just thinking of this day 77 years ago. May the 13th, 1945 was a Sunday. It was a week after Europe had been liberated in the Second World War. But it was also a time when delegates just as you had gathered together in San Francisco with the daunting mission of creating an organization. And here they were, just like you, with resolutions, with ideas, with pieces of paper, putting together in a matter of 8 weeks, an organization that brought within its fold all the bodies that you are representing and convening today. The Commission on the Status of Women, ECOSOC, the Food and Agriculture Organization, the General Assembly, the Security Council, the Human Rights Commission, and later the Human Rights Council, the International Atomic Energy Agency, the United Nations Environment Programme, UNICEF, and the World Health Organization. So all this came into being because of the ideas and the will and purpose, not just of countries and governments, but individual delegates meeting, talking to each other, and persuading each other. And this is the greatest source of strength that the United Nations has. When a delegate from Palau talks about water insecurity, a delegate from Canada about indigenous rights, a delegate from Lebanon about child marriage, a delegate from Tunisia about infrastructure, a delegate from Colombia about violence against women. They bring their personal experience, their convictions, and their passions onto a global stage where it is globally acted upon, and what becomes an individual responsibility becomes a global responsibility. My gratitude to each one of you, my gratitude and thanks to you, Secretary General, and to the wonderful spirit behind all of this, Marty Cockrell, whom I've been privileged to know ever since she first introduced me to a wonderful book called World Peace and Other Activities for Fourth Graders. That name has always stuck with me, just as GMUN has, anchored in the year 1990 when it was founded, a year when none of us really knew, those of us who were there at that time, where the world was headed, because all the structures that we had seen in 1945 had suddenly begun to dismantle. And yet we reconvened. And within 2 years, we had the Environment Conference in Rio and the whole set of global convenings ever since then. GMUN, to my mind, stands for a global education movement for the United Nations. Thank you for being part of that movement. Thank you for leading that movement.
Thank you, Ambassador Damar Duran. That was a really great speech, delegates. Can we give a nice round of applause for him with some clapping emojis? Thank you, everybody.